What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Diamond Owl Studios, the #1 place for music reactions. I'm Paper Chase.
And it's the one and only Diamond Don Juan. We are back with another reaction. Just for you.
Tell them what's going on, Don.
So we are going to be reacting to Pearl Jam. Do you know much about Pearl Jam?
Not like too much. I remember I saw them at Bonnaroo.
Okay.
And they were one of the big headliners one of the nights. So a couple weeks before, I downloaded a bunch of their music and listened to it. Never really got into it again after that. So I know a couple songs, and I saw them live. They were incredible.
But you've never heard this song, Jeremy?
Never.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm trying to remember when this song came out. I've got to be completely honest. Like, I wasn't super into like grunge and like, the music coming out at that time. That was kind of like in this genre. Man, I do remember this video, but to be real with you, I think when it came out, I was still pretty young, like maybe like 12 years old. So I don't know if it really, maybe 13, 14 tops.
So it came out
It was like early 90s, I'm pretty sure.
Early 90s? Okay.
Yeah.
What year were you born?
79. Yeah. Okay. So
That's
early 90s, right?
crazy.
And so I think some of the message of the song might have gone over my head, even though I've heard it. I distinctly remember this song because it was just like playing on MTV over and over again. Like I remember the video, but it's been forever. I kind of have an idea of what the song's about, from hearing it way back then, but I haven't listened to it in years. And I'm very curious to see if I pick up something, different now that, I'm an adult. An old man.
Well, I'm very excited to listen to this one, man. So
for the very first time.
Yeah, without further ado, let's just jump into this.
And the news media plus a lot more.
It is very relevant in America today.
First off, okay, I love the storytelling because they're painting a great picture of this young boy. But man, this song is also fire. I don't know what it is about the way it's resonating to me because I never really got into grunge music as much. And the more I realize it, I'm like, man, if I was like a teenager at that time, like I would have loved this music. I would have gravitated towards it so much.
Yeah. So a couple things. I never realized that he said Jeremy's spoken in class today. I thought it was just Jeremy's spoken, and then, like I didn't really know what the rest of it is. So it is like kind of the subtitles like actually are adding context to it that I just kind of, like I said,
kind of brushed over.
And I think I really did like the age when it came out. I'll have to see what, era or what year this came out in rather. Because I do remember like kind of feeling like a little bit like disturbed by the video. Like I think at the time it was like a little much and I was like kind of, And so, yeah, as I'm listening to it now though, I'm taking a totally different light. And like even just the way that it came in, like with the guitar and the drums, like I have a totally different appreciation for it now listening to it than I did when I heard it in the past. Like I've evolved so much musically and I haven't listened to this song in ages. Like, it might have been 10, 20 years to be completely honest. Like I don't remember the last time, haven't seen the video in forever. And it's really just resonating on a different level.
Clearly I remember picking on the boy, seemed a harmless little fuck. But we unleashed the lion, gnashed his teeth and bit the recessed lady's breast. How could I forget? And he hit me with the surprise left. My jaw left hurting, dropped wide open, just like the day, oh, like the day I heard. Mommy didn't give affection, no, and the boy was something that mommy wouldn't wear. King tell me the wicked, oh, ruled his world. Jeremy spoken, Cassidy. Jeremy spoken, Cassidy. Jeremy spoken,
That's so heartbreaking, man.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that I'm picking up that I never realized before. Like, I don't remember him like saying that, like, I remember picking on, or it seemed a harmless little fuck.
Yeah.
I never caught that
Until
before.
the day he hit me with the left. And,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
man.
remember like the fight scene. I mean, that just goes to show you that I, really probably like tuned this out. Because to be real with you, the video is kind of disturbing. Like,
Mhm.
and if I'm remembering this correctly, like I said, I was maybe, tops like 12 or 13. And so at that age, I was just like, this is like a little much.
A little much.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Especially where my head was at that time. And yeah, I paused it right there because there's something that's just, when you're young like that, even something that's little, like somebody making fun of like the clothes that you're wearing, or you are in the lunchroom and you're like eating and you dribble something on your shirt and people are like, oh,
It
you know,
sticks with you, man.
it makes you, it feels like the biggest thing. That's what it feels like.
Mm.
It feels like the biggest thing in the world. It feels like I'm so, dumb. The whole world is laughing at me. And like, I just wanted to freeze frame it there because, everything about the song is like so deep. Like I was going to say, I don't remember that line about biting the lunch lady's breast. Like,
Yeah.
you
It's
know,
wild.
the imagery that he's like painting is like very like, deep and real. And, I just didn't pick up on any of that before. And then I just wanted to like point out that the video is just like capturing all of that as well.
Yeah. And what was that line? He said that his daddy never gave him attention. His mom would never.
The little boy was something that his mom
would
would
never
never
wear. Yeah.
To me, I caught that too. And I thought that was such an interesting line because the way that I took it was like his mom was probably so worried about her appearance and how she looked and what she wears. That
She wasn't proud of him. She would never show him off. And
Exactly.
Never, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get back into I'm actually really enjoying this, man. I know it's kind of disturbing, but
No, it's such a great
It
song. And like, I
is,
don't
it
know
is.
that I really I didn't appreciate it at the time. I'll be completely honest.
Holy shit. That was heavy, bro.
Yeah.
And I hate to say how much I loved the song itself, but yeah, that video was heavy, man.
Yeah.
That's heartbreaking, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I had my friend my best friend in the whole entire world when I was 13. He went missing for a week, you know, and nobody knew really what was going on with him. And I knew he had some issues with his parents that were pretty bad, you know, but he just seemed like the happiest kid in the world. And he was missing for a week and we were all freaking out. And then, you know, they ended up finding him at a golf course, you know, hanging. He killed himself and he was probably about that. I think he was 13. He just turned 13 when he passed away. And man, it's just crazy. Like, you never know what's going on. And I mean, he wasn't like picked on by any means, but he was like a brilliant fucking kid. You just never know, you know, what's going on in people's lives, and you never know what'll push them to do the worst possible thing to themselves they can, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say we had a theme for the night, but we reacted to Concrete Angel earlier. So this is kind of like a continuation of that, you know, sad truth of life that there are children that are neglected and, you know, kids that are, you know, kind of pushed out of society. I've got to see when this came out, actually. Let's see here.
Yeah, and I hate to say like how much that song actually was.
It is an incredible song.
God, I like really loved that song, you know? Like, I don't know, like I said, I never really got into grunge, but like that might be one of my favorite grunge songs I've ever heard. Pearl Jam.
91.
1991, okay.
Yeah, so I would have been like 12 years old when this came out, roughly. And like I said, I think when it came out, it was just so intense. Like at that age to see this, and you know, I was just like, yeah. And you got to admit, he looked kind of creepy in that video, you know.
Well, it's weird. It says so. Pearl Jam was released as a single in Australia and Europe in 1992, in the UK in 1992, and then it says from their debut album 10 with the US single release following later on 1995.
Interesting.
Though the song and its iconic video were part of the album's original 1991-1992 rollout.
Okay.
So
yeah, 91. Regardless, you know, like I said,
is Pearl Jam not a where are they from?
I'm pretty sure they're from like Portland or somewhere, Seattle, somewhere in that area.
So why would they really have releases?
Who knows? Maybe it was just the label. Maybe they thought the American audience wouldn't respond to it. What I find very interesting about this song is that it's like almost like predicting, you know, the sad trend of like, you know, school shootings and everything that happened later, you know, much later. But like, it almost feels like a prophetic song in that sense, because they were like talking about like this problem of, you know, these kids being picked on, feeling alienated, feeling isolated, neglected, all those, you know, different things, and like addressing it and bringing it to the forefront, only for this to become like an even bigger problem.
Yeah.
Like going forward. Because at the time that this came out, this was, you know, a self-harm song essentially, but then it like evolved into something that was like much worse.
Well, and at the end of the day, you know, I mean, let's be honest, you know, I have no sympathy for any school shooter at all. And I'm not going to try to say anything that'll sympathize with them, but you know, like, it is still a form of self-harm when you go out and you commit these evil acts, because you know the outcome. You know the outcome is either death or life in prison. You know, and a decade after this is when the Columbine shooting happened. You know, I went to Columbine High School. That's the school I went to. And it's just like that what happened, you know, that much long ago, it still resonates through the halls. You know what I mean? Like, the teachers still cry about it all the time, the ones that were there, you know. It's like this everlasting like stain on people's hearts. But you know, it did like bring our school closer together, and we just kind of had this whole mentality of like, nobody bully any, like, if you fucking bully somebody, like, you're done, like, you're getting bullied, like, you know. And it was this whole kind of this culture that we had at that school, which I just really find like really fascinating, because I really didn't grow up in a high school where I saw like traditional bullying because of that.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying like what they did paved the way for that.
That is a beautiful thing to come out of that, though, if you
Yeah,
really
yeah.
think about it. I mean,
Mm.
I grew up like in the opposite environment. I was like fighting all the time. There was school fights all the time, like in Palmer. Like we were, it was just constant getting, beat up, picked on.
Were
Like
you getting bullied?
I wouldn't say I got bullied because I'd always fight back. So
Mm.
but that was like the choice. I mean, that was something that happened in life where I was getting picked on.
Mm.
And I went home crying to my dad, and he was like, look, you've got a choice to make. If you either stand up for yourself or you don't, but if you don't stand up for yourself, this will happen for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And, that was one of those distinct things that I remember that like, I went to school the next day when they did it again. I fought back, and, it's not like that was the end of it, but it was more just like, is it worth it? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because like the worst thing that could happen is like getting beat up by the kid that you were picking on, or, getting a bloody
Yeah.
nose and then looking, you know what I mean? So it just created enough doubt that it was like,
Let's not
let's
test that.
let's go pick on somebody else. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's an easier target.
And there
But-
was for sure fights like at Columbine. So like I got in a fight in the middle of school, ran away, and didn't go back to school for 3 weeks. Then when I came back, I got an assault charge. Like like there was fights at school,
Yeah.
but like there was just this whole culture of like you see this
No,
like
like
you see
picking
this
on-
fucking weirdo kid over there. Like
Yeah.
everybody be his friend,
Yeah.
and it was like this beautiful thing you don't see in most things, and it very much had to do with honestly because of Columbine and the shooting. But I will say this wholeheartedly, it also like really got even more present when Cameron, my
Mhm.
best friend, like committed suicide, because then like a month later we lost another kid to suicide, and it was like this whole thing that just like brought the whole, especially our class, like so close together that even if you like
Yeah.
hated each other, you guys were still like we just experienced this massive loss like together, and it kind of brought us all closer. But yeah, I mean, you
Yeah.
know, but like that goes for everybody, man. If you like, you don't know what somebody's going through. You told the story earlier today about, growing up with a kid who didn't necessarily have the best upbringing, and everybody
Mhm.
thought he was weird. And
Yeah, I talked about it on the reaction we did to Concrete Angels, but yeah, he was, obviously, like in retrospect, he was obviously being abused. I mean, it's
Mm.
like as an adult that can see the signs and know what type of house he grew up in with, his uncle, and I kind of knew that something was off, and then now I can put together the pieces and be like, oh, all these signs are pointing to what was happening, but he just ended up being the weird kid that we kind of pushed
isolated,
to,
and
and some of it was like, honestly, like he was like violent, and like, it wasn't just like us being mean and being like, oh, he's the weird kid. It's like, he's also weird, and like, he'll just like lash out and just like might, start hitting you out of nowhere.
well,
'cause
that's
you
the
said
thing,
something.
man. Kids are mean.
Mhm.
Kids are mean. And the most that I know this reaction is dragging on a little bit, but videos like this bring out conversation.
Yeah. And
It-
I do want to say, like, I just want to make it very clear, like, that this is all because of how great this song is.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, again, like, I think I memory hold this because, like I said, at the time, the video wasn't too intense. The subject matter, I wasn't really into this music anyway. So everything about it was kind of just like, I don't really like it. And now
Yeah.
that I've had enough space and time, like listening to the song again, I'm taken away by like how brilliant it is. And it's like, holy shit, like this is such a great song. I didn't realize it at the time and just kind of pushed it to the side. And I'm glad I listened to it again because I can actually appreciate it really probably for the first time in my life.
Absolutely. It was a beautiful song, man. And, I know, like, obviously there's parts in it where Jeremy had heavy neglect from his parents and stuff like that. But, just like when it comes down to bullying in general, like that's something I've always held so dear in my heart.
Mhm.
Like, and I found out, so my daughter's in dance class, and Sabrina called me. I'm sorry to put out names here, but my baby mama called me and was like, hey, I just got a call from one of the moms of another daughter, and apparently your daughter's bullying her. Bro, I've never been more mad at my kid in my life. Turns out, they made up. They were fine. My daughter's she's like the sweetest girl in the world.
Yeah.
Like she really has a beautiful soul. Like, so I was like shocked. I'm like, what the hell? But, it just struck this chord with me of like, oh my God, and I feel like we said in the last video, but like, kids are they're helpless. Like they can't protect themselves. And when they're going into an environment at school, and especially if they don't have parents to talk to about it, you know, it creates like just like this hatred for everything around you, and you know, this feeling of being so weak, and it's heartbreaking, man. So just look out for the kids.
Yeah. I mean, credit to them for taking on this subject matter and talking about it. Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, this is going to sound messed up, but like, I don't want to say I can identify with that, but I was on like a dark path, and like probably the only thing that saved me is that I had a social life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, that's the difference. It's like, I was still off being I went to jail when I was 16, you know? So like, I was on a very bad path. Took me a long time to like get outside of that, but it was only because I had social, you know, acceptance that I didn't go that direction, to be completely honest. Cause I was like lashing out. I was doing all these things. I had like, you know, my own issues I'm not going to delve into, but you know, the fact of the matter is, like, I had a girlfriend, I had friends. If I didn't have those things, I often think about it, and it sounds kind of crazy, but it's probably like, you know, having a little, you know, little girlfriend, a little nookie on the side, and a couple of good friends is really the only thing that, all you need, and the only thing that saved me. Because if I didn't have that, it would have just been anger and hurt and isolation. And I think that's the difference. It's like that little bit of socialization, having a couple friends, is really, I think, what the difference is between somebody doing that or doing something more extreme.
Yeah, nobody deserves to be, you know, feel completely alone. You know, it's one of the hardest things. So, but man, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. It was fantastic. I'm sorry to say it. It was such a well put together video. Tough subject matter, but if you enjoyed it as much as we did, make sure to drop a like. And hey, if you want to join us on this journey of discovering new music and old music, hit the subscribe button. We always have a great time here, whether we're tackling subjects like this together or whether we're laughing our asses off to something stupid. We always have a good time. So hit that subscribe button.
Let us know if there's some more Pearl Jam or maybe some other artists that we need to react to in this vein, because honestly, like, having listened to this song again, I'm like, damn, I need to go back and listen to some more of their music, because I really did just write it off as like, oh, I'm just not into that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just kind of just pushed it to the side. And even though it was maybe playing in the background or they had other songs out, I just kind of made up my mind that wasn't my thing. So I'm very interested to listen to some of their music now and seeing what I pick up on today, having, you know, changed my worldview. So anyways, thank you for joining us. We'll see you on the next time. Rant and ramble over.
Peace.